Welcome to Smex Ed. Class is in session.
I'm your host, Amanda King, and I'm here to teach anybody who wants to fucking listen how to have the audacity to say fuck it to societal standards and live their most authentic life. This podcast is dedicated to bringing the sexual conversations we have behind doors onto the main fucking stage. Because sex, masturbation, squirting, guess what? It is all normal. And by bringing these conversations to the forefront, we help people feel less alone in this world. We help them feel safe. We help them gain their power back. We help them step into their confidence and express themselves sexually in this world unapologetically. Because it takes fucking audacity to be your truest self. And we have a boatloads of audacity all up in this bitch. So let me ask you this. Are you ready for some epic shit?
Hello, everybody. So I wanted to get up on today and discuss the 12 types of O's that a woman can experience, because I posted a post about it yesterday and it had a lot of engagement, and I already have a YouTube video dedicated to this specific topic, but I want to do my own Facebook live video since it is like my Facebook audience is massive. Okay, perfect. Since my Facebook audience is massive and it is a subject that I think needs more people to talk about it, because it is a very important topic. So number one, if you are jumping on this live video, remember that there is a lag from when you are seeing it versus when I am talking. So as you're jumping on, please say hello. Tell me how you're feeling today. Tell me where you're watching from. I love to know where my audience comes from. Number two, if you're watching the replay of this video, hit me with a hashtag replay. Number three, you can ask questions on live video, but do know that when you ask questions on live video, it is going to show your little icon. So people will see that you ask those questions, which is fine. This is a safe environment. And if anyone causes any type of shit on these live videos, I will block them immediately. But if you have any questions about the 12 types of O, and I am going to speak in a censored tone here, which is obnoxious, but we're going to do it. If you have any questions as I'm going through them, feel free to drop them in the comments. Once again, remember there is a lag, so it's going to take me a while to see the questions. If I don't get to them on the video, I will do my best to get into the comments after this video and chit chat with you back and forth and answer your questions. So the 12 different types of O's that a woman can have, because yes, there are 12. So we're going to start from the top and we're going to work our way down. Number one is an oral O. And what I mean by an oral O is not oral Smex. Two different things, although a woman can O from oral Smex. An oral O is a type of climax that is brought on by intense, deep mouth play, kissing. It is, think of like the hottest makeout session that you have ever had with a partner, and you've gotten so into it that you feel your body almost start to climax. Your body reacts to this. This is because the lips are full of nerve endings, and those nerve endings go all through your body and connect. So your lip nerve endings eventually connect to your nether region nerve endings, which cause you to get easily stimulated during oral play. So don't be afraid to take your time with your partner when it comes to kissing them. So start with slow, methodic kissing, then get into deep, passionate kissing. Don't be afraid to like really stick your tongue in there if they like a lot of tongue play. Don't be afraid to take time in this area. Typically when we are going into Smex, whether it is oral or smenetrative, we tend to jump right into it because we're like, ultimate goal is to have a climax. I want to make my partner climax as soon as humanly possible. But there is so much simplicity and beauty when it comes to the slow game. So make sure that you take your time. Go ahead, kiss your partner like you fucking mean it. Kiss them like it is the last time you were ever going to kiss them on this planet. Some people can get off by kissing alone. Number 2, we're going to move down to the second nether region, which is our nipples. Nipples are highly sensitive and are chock full of nerve endings that when stimulated can cause nipple O's. Now, when we are stimulating the nipples, this isn't just about direct contact. This is also about indirect contact. So going around the breast as well as direct contact with the nipple itself. Some ideas to spice up your nipple play. As always, don't be afraid to add toys. There are a lot of nipple suckers. There are a lot of toys that focus on cold or hot play. So for example, adding warm candle wax, adding an ice cube, right? Taking a glass smildo, putting it in the freezer for a few seconds, and then rubbing it and stimulating the area with that toy can cause people to climax from that alone. And remember, it's not just direct, it's indirect as well. So don't be afraid to really massage the area, tickle the area, rub the area. Number 3, we're going down to the smitoris. And you know it's not called a smitoris. You know exactly what I am talking about. The smitoris is the pleasure palace of the female body. Your smitoris, let's throw down some smitoris facts. Number 1, the part that you see is not the full thing. I know, shocker. They never teach you this in school. That is called the smitoral hood. That hood can be tiny and or it can be as large as a baby gherkin's pickle. So every smitoris is like a snowflake. They look different. They're beautiful and it is all normal. So some people may have a larger one than other people. Now your smitoris actually runs down the sides of the labia. So your smitoris is about 2.5 inches wide. So it goes down each side and it's about 4.5 inches long, give or take. Every single person is different. So when we are talking about smitoral play, once again, we aren't talking just about direct going in like a 1990s fucking DJ. No one wants this. Take it back. Take it back. Slow down. Take time with your partner. Smitoral play with the fingers. Circular motions tend to work best. Also, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, smitoral play is direct and indirect as well. So indirect is playing with the labia. Direct is putting a vibrator against it. Indirect is taking the vibrator and going down the labia. Don't forget the labia. They are your best friends as well. They're not just pretty curtains. Speaking of labias, everybody's labia is individualized, meaning they are also all snowflakes. They come in different colors, shapes, textures. Some are big, some are small. All are beautiful, all are okay, all are normal. So with smitoral play, it depends on what type of stimulation your partner likes. So this is why communication with your partner is absolutely freaking key. So saying to your partner, hey, does this feel good? So simple. And yet so many people get so afraid to ask that question. If you want your partner to enjoy the experience to the ultimate level, you've got to talk and you've got to ask questions. So asking them, hey, what type of stimulation do you like for your smit? Do you like direct stimulation? Can I try indirect stimulation? Do you like when I do circles with my hands? Do you like when I flick, suck, bite, nibble, whatever it is? Talk to your partner. Next one, we're going down, and this is probably one of the 12 spots that not a lot of people know about. The urethra. So just in case you don't know this, women have 3 holes down there. We have the, oh my God, I just forgot. We have the urethra, we have the vaginal canal, and then you have your anus. 3 different holes. And they literally go, top is urethra, second is vaginal canal, third is anus. So urethra play is never about smenitration. Never, ever, ever, ever stick anything in there. Ever. This is about external play because the smitoris outlines the entire vagina. But I don't know why I said that so weird. Outlines the entire vagina. So when you are stimulating the urethra externally, you are actually also stimulating the almost said it, the smitoris. Bear with me. I hate censoring myself, but we got to do what we got to do. So urethra play is taking your finger and circling the area, taking your tongue, circulating the area, taking a vibrator and going around the outside of the area. Outside, never in. Always remember that. Then we drop down Then we drop it down into the vaginal canal. So there are three different types of erogenous zones within the vaginal canal that you can stimulate and play with. First one you're going to run into is the G-spot. Some fun facts about the G-spot. The G-spot was discovered and originated in a I think it was 57 study. Now, recent studies conducted are actually debunking that original 1950 study, meaning that people are now saying, or scientists, I should say, are now saying that not every woman may have a G-spot. In fact, it may not exist at all. And if it does exist, it's not an actual spot. Like, you're not going to feel it like the prostate. The prostate, you're going to feel that bad boy. But with the G-spot, you're not. It is more of a zone rather than a spot. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take 1 to 2 fingers, go into the vaginal canal. You can do this with a toy as well. If you're using your fingers, you want to go about 2 inches in. So this is shallow. This is a great way to start penetrative process, right? To get the vaginal canal warmed up, because the vaginal canal is typically 2 to 4 inches long. As we get aroused, it elongates. It can be as long as 8 to 10 inches long. So the more aroused your partner becomes, the more access to the erogenous zones that you have. So when we are talking about G-spot, if we're using our fingers, we're trying to do like a come hither motion with it. Or we are trying to basically create some type of circle. I have a piece of hair on my face. Circle pattern with our fingers when it comes to the G-spot. Remember, if you're up there and your partner is not feeling anything, it could just be that they don't have that erogenous zone or they're just not used to it. So take your time with it. The next one inside the vaginal canal, remember, it begins to lengthen. We have the A spot, the anterior fornix erogenous zone. That's a mouthful. So the A spot is located 3 to 6 inches within the vaginal canal, and it is the frontal wall of the vaginal canal. So when you're up there, scientist studies suggest kind of doing a little bit of a windshield wiper motion. If you have a toy, just turn the toy on to vibrate and then just slowly insert it. So as far as penetrative O's, start with the G-spot with shallow thrust. This is even during Smex, right? Shallow thrust, then deepen your thrust a little as your partner becomes aroused. Look for arousal keys in your partner. Them saying that they're aroused, them starting to feel aroused down there. Nipples hardening, all of the things, goosebumps on the body, heavy breathing. Now, as the vaginal canal stretches out further, we get the cervical orgasm. Oops, I said the O word. Oh well, we're going to go. We have a cervical one. Now, the cervical one is typically deep penetrative thrust. It's the deepest one located within the vaginal canal. And some people can't feel this because they don't get fully enough aroused in order for this to happen. So remember, this is one that we work our way into. This isn't one we thrust in right away, either with a toy or with yourself. Slow, methodical, work your way up the vaginal canal. The cervical O tends to be what studies say the most powerful O a person can feel. It radiates through the body. It can cause convulsions. A lot of people I've spoken to says that the best way they can reach a cervical O is if they're on top, because they can control the depth of the thrusting and because they feel they can get in their partner deeper in that way. So if you're using a toy, possibly laying back with your legs up and or attempting to squat on the toy, using a smildo would be good here, especially if it had a suction base so that you kind of, in a way, bounce on it. So those are the 3 within the vaginal canal. Then we move to the anus. Everyone knows this one. Anal O. This is indirect and direct penetration. So this can be rimming or just stimulating the area outside of the anus because it's chock full of nerve endings. The other one is internally by smenitration. If you were attempting this one, lubrication is key, and I swear on everything that freaking is holy, if you say spit works, it doesn't work. It's not enough lubrication. You want your partner to hate anal? Go ahead and spit on it and then just slam it in there. They will never want to do it again because it doesn't feel good and you will hurt them. And that's not what we're about here. We're about creating a safe environment in order to experiment safely. Might have said the same thing twice, but here we go. So make sure you use a crap ton of lubricant, and I mean lubricant on the device and or your smenis and around the actual area itself, around the anus. The next style O is called a core-gasm. Now, a core-gasm is an exercise-induced O. So this typically happens, and these are like the hardest, by the way, to be able to achieve, and not everyone has the ability to achieve them. These are typically core-focused workout exercises. The core-gasm is one of the most elusive, and they say it's not even, it doesn't feel the same as a regular O. They feel it more in their pelvic region and their thighs. The next one we move on to, kind of two, they go back and back, multiple and blended O's. Multiple O's is having a multiple O, right? This is when we have an O and then we come down. There's a refractory period in between the O's. Not to get confused with the blended O. The blended O is created when you are stimulating two erogenous zones at one time. So this may be nipple play with anal play. This may be smitteral play with nipple play. This may be smitteral play with kissing, right? It doesn't matter which two you explore with, but these are when two areas are stimulated to create a very powerful O. So then sleep. I think that's the last one. Did I get all 12? Hold on, we'll do it again in a second. The sleep O, or a mental O, it kind of works two ways. And you'll read different things about it. So if it's called a sleep O, it happens when you sleep. It's something that's so involuntary. You are unconscious. It's like what we've referred to when we talk about it with men as a wet dream. So you're unconscious. You have a sexual fantasy, smexual fantasy, and that produces you to have an O, right? So that's one way, but there are people who can create mental O's. Now, a mental O is when you are conscious, but you start fantasizing about a situation and you are able to make yourself O just from that. And not included in the 12 O's, a breathing O. There are literal workshops that you can take that teach you how to breathe in a certain pattern enough to enable you to have an O without any type of stimulation to the body, which is like mind blowing. And this also does not include female, God, I don't even know how to censor these. I can't. Female squirting or female ejaculation. Those are two separate things entirely from the 12 different O's. So to recap and to ensure that I did them all: oral, nipple, smitteral, right? Vaginal canal, we have G-spot, A-spot, cervical. Then we have anal. Then we have corgasm, blended O, multiple O, and sleep O. Bam, nailed them. That is all 12 style O's. And once again, female squirting and ejaculation, something separate. That's a whole fucking video on its own in the best way possible. But moral of the story, what it goes to show you is that the female body is incredible. If you cannot have a smenetrative O, because there are some women also, a huge myth is that every single woman can get off via smenetration. That is not true at all. In fact, only 18% of women in the fucking world can get off via smenetration. Yeah, it is such a small minority of women who can actually get off via smenetration. The rest can't. So if your partner cannot get off via G-spot, A-spot, cervical, because those require smenetration, there are other forms or other erogenous zones that you can explore now that you know them all with your partner in order to ensure that they can get off some way. And always, 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 when it comes down to Smex, communication is key. Ensure you are talking to your partner during the entire time, asking them what type of stimulation they like, what stimulation they don't. If you don't want to talk during, I understand it can make it feel sometimes clinical. Sitting down and having a conversation afterwards, and I don't mean like, oh, we're putting our pants on, let's talk about it. This could be something that you have the next day where you both are sitting here and saying, hey, listen, I really liked this. I wasn't a fan of this. Could we try this? And remember when we talk about Smex, Ego stays on the table, meaning when our partners give us feedback and or try to guide us during a session, this is a positive thing that we like. We do not take this as an attack against ourselves. This is how we optimize the relationship between us both. And we end up having the best Smex, oral, regular, hand, whatever it is, in your life by talking to your partner either before, during, or after it. Thank you guys so much. I don't know if anybody asked questions because it's not showing up for me that anybody's asking questions, but also the same thing happened yesterday and I logged off and there was a fuck ton of questions. So if I didn't get to your question, I apologize. I didn't see it. Please leave it in the comments below. If you would like to keep your identity a secret, your autonomy a secret, feel free to DM me your question. You don't have to say, can I ask you a question? Shoot it into the DMs. As always, everyone, thank you so much for being here. And if you have been following, my Snapchat account got permanently locked yesterday, which really fucking sucked. I lost 50,000 followers. Kills me, but I did open a new Snapchat account. The username is the.amandaking2. I will link it below. Please come follow me on Snapchat. I literally do daily stories where I am typically uncensored with my speak. I try to be. But please, if you can, come follow me on that platform. If you're watching the replay of this, hit me with the hashtag replay so I can thank you being here. And if you watched on, don't be a creepy neighbor. Say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. I always like to engage with my followers. As always, I love you all so very fucking much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much for listening to Smex Ed with Amanda. And some parting words for you today. Remember this, no matter how hard society pushes you down, no matter how many times you fall, as long as you get the fuck back up, they can never stop you. You are unfuckable with. You will win. Don't allow this world to dictate how you show up in it. Don't allow society to make you bend the knee. Instead, make them bend theirs. And don't forget, if you like what you heard, go on to iTunes and Spotify and leave your girl a review. Until next time, my beautiful people.